from dancing in the mirror to having that love for creativity, I started dreaming of becoming an actor.
The first film is always special no matter what the result is.
A lot of preparation that goes behind every character that I play.
People usually see actors and actresses glamour but actually it's a very tough job.
I love my work so much that it just reaches the universe.
Do we see you in Bollywood this year? Hi everyone, I am Mohsin Ahmed, host of Self Discovery Podcast. And today I am in conversation with Vedika, who's a celebrated actor and whose remarkable journey spans Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, and Hindi cinema. Known for her versatility, she has received an Asia Vision Award, 2 Edition Awards, and nominations for the Filmfare Awards South, cementing her identity as a dynamic performer.
Thank you.
A breakthrough role as a village girl, Angamma in Paradesi in 2013 earned widespread acclaim, with critics praising her spellbinding performance. Vedika's consistently evolving as an actor was equally evident in Kavya Thalaivan in 2014, where she delivered a nuanced performance inspired by theatre legend K.B. Sundarambal. From commercial successes like Kanchana 3 and Home Minister, she has consistently proven her ability to breathe life in diverse characters. Her journey from winning hearts in South Indian cinema to making her acting debut in Bollywood with The Body opposite Imran Hashmi represents the evolution of an artist who continues to push creative boundaries. With each role, she blends grace, authenticity, and emotional depth, making her a true cinematic watch.
2024 has been a stupendous year for Vedika, with releases like Fear and Razakar. Both of them are Telugu films. Petter Rap, a Tamil film. And going ahead with 2025, she has Gana, which is releasing. It is a Kannada film, which is her mother tongue. It is releasing in 2025. Vedika's palette is full of variety in terms of the roles she is playing and the roles she is accepting.
Hi Vedika, welcome to my show Self Discovery Podcast.
Hi, so nice to see you and thank you for the lovely introduction. It was so flattering.
You deserve it, every bit of it. So please tell us, where did it all begin?
Well, it started literally with just loving and having passion for dance and movies since childhood. I would love watching Madhuri Dixit ma'am and Sridevi ma'am's films, dancing to their songs. So just from dancing in the mirror, to having that love for creativity and art, I started dreaming of becoming an actor. It came really naturally to me since my childhood. Yeah, one thing I've never been like two-minded about is my work and what I wanted to do in life.
So initially, Vedika, you did not meet quite a success. It didn't work well in terms of the movies that you did. How did you keep going? As in, how was it? Did you think at any point that I'll give up and I'll just do something else probably?
Well, to be honest, I think I started my journey with a lot of ease because, I just one day happened to get a call for a Tamil film and they wanted to do a photo shoot. Within like an hour, I got the film. So I was always very grateful. Yes, initially I was only doing commercial films. It was not like my first film itself was a big blockbuster or anything. Started slow but steady. And over the years, I got to do a lot of amazing roles, especially after films like Kale and Pardesi. From my third, fourth film is when my true journey and it takes some time to get noticed. It's not like in your first film itself everybody is like able to establish that kind of presence. So my first film was basically more of an action film. I didn't have the kind of scope that my other following films had, but I'm still very grateful for that film because that was my debut And it all started with that. And eventually, I really thought to myself, if I get to do one film, I'll consider myself lucky. But I have done close to 30 films now, and I have nothing but gratitude.
The first film is always special, no matter what the result is.
Yeah, you're so new that time when you have no idea what camera angles are. I used to take my own time to get ready. So I learned a lot of things, in my first film. And I didn't even know the language. My first dialogue was Yenna Pidikum, Yenna Pidikadu. So I didn't know Tamil at all. So I just learned it like என்ன பிடிக்கும் என்ன பிடிக்காது என்ன பிடிக்கும் like a rhythm. And now to having learned Tamil and to be able to speak the language, I don't know how time flew and how I learned the languages like Telugu, Tamil, but it has been a wonderful experience. And especially thanks to the industry people for always supporting me and for offering me roles which further cemented my career growth and brought me even more opportunities.
You said about languages, okay? So your mother tongue is Kannada, and you have done Tamil, Telugu movies. How do you emote the emotions, even though you did not know the language initially?
I have been very passionate about my work and I take it very seriously. So every dialogue I used to ask the meaning of, what is the exact meaning? Even little things I would like, ask too many questions. So that I guess helped me understand what the character wanted to say. Yeah, language I think is not a barrier if you're ready to invest time and willing to learn.
Pardesi was a landmark in terms of your career. How did you feel during that time? Did you expect that movie to be a turning point in your life?
Yeah, most definitely. Because I was working with Bala sir, who's a national award winning director. He has made amazing films like Pitamagan, Setu, Nan Kadubul. So he's a legendary director whose films also got made in Hindi like Tere Naam. It was my dream to work with him. Every actor who has worked with him has, from Vikram sir to Surya sir, everybody has got the appreciation that they deserve after Bala sir's films because his characters are so unique. They are very challenging. I knew from the beginning that this is going to be a turning point in my career. And I really focused on the role, and with his guidance, I did a role which was very transformative, not only physically, but also I was playing a 17-year-old Tamil girl from the 1930s, from the pre-independent era in Tamil Nadu. That was, very challenging and very unique. So I knew that the role has that kind of scope. And considering I don't look anything like the character,
You looked every bit of it and you played it so well. Evoked all the emotions of that girl. Angamma.
yes, I am. I played a hilarious 17-year-old girl, naughty girl who is like always bullying the hero. But yes, there is also a lot of emotional depth in the character towards the end of the film. So it had a lot. It had a very good graph to it, and definitely a turning point. And I'm really thankful to Bala sir because even till date, whatever films I get for performance-oriented roles is all because I did Pardesi.
So your movie is releasing, Gana. Can you tell us a little bit about it? What is your role in it? What are the challenges? Did you face any kind of challenges while making and acting in this movie?
Gana is a Kannada film. It is about two characters who are communicating with each other, and there's little bit of a time travel angle to it. Very, very interesting film and a very interesting role. Very different from the other roles that I did in recent times. So I play a school teacher who comes across a child and she adopts him, little boy, at her doorstep. And then from there, the story unfolds about how she connects with the character. And very two beautiful characters. The audience will definitely be in for a surprise. Yeah, so it is in my mother tongue. I had to speak Kannada, which I know pretty well. I speak at home. 2023 was a very busy year. So that's when I shot for Gana and I shot for Yakshini, Peter Rap with Prabhudeva sir. I also shot for Razakar, another period film. And 2024 had like 4 releases of mine, including Razakar, Yakshini, which is produced by Bahubali filmmakers. It came on Hotstar. Then came Peter Rap and Fear. And the next release after that is like literally the 5th release in recent time. Is Gana. So I'm really looking forward to it. They were back-to-back releases, and all of them are very different from each other. Like Razakar is a historical film, based on some facts before Hyderabad got independence, which many people don't know. Hyderabad got independence 1 year, 13 months later than the rest of India. That story is about those characters and those villagers who almost, became freedom fighters for their land. Then came Yakshini, which was a socio fantasy subject, very glamorous but performance oriented roles, title role with Disney Hotstar. That was my OTT debut. Post that was Peter Rap with Prabhu Devasa, which is a commercial entertainer and a lot of fun dancing with the legendary Prabhudeva sir. It was quite a challenge. And then after that was Fear, a psychological thriller, which won almost 72 international awards.
Wow.
Yeah, in 38 film festivals. And now Gana. So if you place all my character looks from the recent releases, every character is different from each other. Every genre is different from each other. Now, starting 2025 with Gana is I'm still on the happiness and sort of this, high of having 4 releases, and now this is my 5th, so I'm really looking forward.
Just tell me one thing, Vedika. People usually see actors and actresses with the perks and the glamour and all of that. But actually, it's a very, very tough job. Okay, so what are the challenges do you feel that you have faced?
Everything looks ultra glamorous, so
Yes.
easy.
Mhm.
Because that's a perception, right? But perception is obviously different from reality. It is a lot of work. You have to resonate with the characters that you're playing and draw in the audience into the world of these characters and the stories of these characters. So I do not like to take my profession for granted, even if it's a character that has to look glamorous, like in Yakshini.
Mhm.
She's glamorous, she's beautiful, but there are a lot of shades to the character. There is a lot of performance, there's a lot of responsibility that comes with a role where you're the protagonist and you're playing the title role. So, a lot of preparation that goes behind every character that I play.
I know that looking beautiful is also a task. People don't realize.
Exactly, it's not easy to constantly will look good,
Yes.
and everything has to be prim and proper. So day in, day out, to kind of carry that look and to make sure you sleep well, you eat right, you work out, you maintain your skin. You have a great team of people working to make you look the way you do.
Right.
Your makeup artist, hairstylist, and the designer team and the direction team. Everybody's lot of people working to make your character come to life. Yeah, it's even looking good is not very simple.
Coming to looking good, how do you maintain your skin routine?
Well, I don't know. I've just been blessed, I suppose. Like with all credit goes to my mom. Because of her, I'm blessed. I do try to moisturize my skin every day. That is something. I have very dry skin. Like once I wash my face, I do not leave it till I moisturize. Moisturizing regularly, face wash once a day, maybe a toner a couple of times a week, drink a lot of water. The most important, I think, for even me, which I'm trying to learn, is to be at peace. I think to look beautiful, you need to get good rest. 8 hours for me is like ideal. I love 8 hours sleep, the way your skin feels, the way your face looks, the way you feel mentally.
Is there any kind of visualization or prayer that ritual that you follow in your life to maintain that balance as well as seeking those projects?
Well, like I told you, since childhood, I've only dreamt of being on celluloid and working in films and loving what I do. I just feel that I love my work so much that it just reaches the universe. I'm blessed, and I'm showered with opportunities, longevity, and it's going steady. So I'm really grateful. But I never stop craving for more work, obviously. Yeah, as an artist, you always wanted to do better work, challenge yourself even more, work with all the people that you desire to work with. So just that having the desire and that, even when I work on a film, I focus a lot on it. So I give it my everything. It's literally like worshipping what you do. That focus, that unwavering focus is something which I feel translates all the other projects that you land and other work that you get. And I guess people around you, working around you, see the determination that you have towards your character, and yeah, somehow something happens. I mean, as long as I just work religiously on my roles, I know that things will materialize.
And I think it's the energy builds up like that. You know, you are wanting it, you are seeking it. At the same time, you're putting in the action and the hard work.
Exactly, exactly. That has to be there because once there is action, there has to be a result, you know. If you're not doing anything about it, now if I bag a project and I'm not really like valuing it, then that's a recipe for disaster.
So, Vedika, how do you feel that Indian cinema now is foraying into global cinema, and how do you feel being in this stage of Indian cinema?
As you know, Indian cinema has always been appreciated since decades. Even films like Salam Bombay and Lagan, Mother India have got international recognition. And now, you know, there is a lot of recognition for Indian makers and Indian cinema, even more. You know, even our makers are trying to reach the audiences and international audiences through film festivals and screenings all over the world. With films like Triple R, winning Academy Awards, to Indian talent being appreciated, like in Slumdog Millionaire, Rahman sir, he came a, like
Absolutely.
icon.
Yes, absolutely.
Exactly. And even, documentaries like Elephant Whisperers, they all are gaining so much recognition. So it is a great time to be part of, Indian cinema now. And even in my film Fear, director Harita Gogineni, she sent the film. They are more aware. Filmmakers are more aware of how to reach international audiences now. It's not a rarity anymore to have your film screen at Cannes or to apply for international awards. A lot of filmmakers are aware of how to take their films. So my director of Fear, she sent our film to a lot of international film festivals. So we won about 72 awards in 38 international film festivals. I even had one of them ask me to be a jury on their next one. So it's a great time to be a part. Even audiences are seeking content from other countries. They want to learn more about the culture from India, and we have so much that we can showcase, about our country, about our culture through our movies. So it has always been like, truly appreciated world over. But I think now is an even better time overall. Even films like Dangal, not only in, European markets, but like Japan,
Yeah,
and
China.
Singapore and China. So all these, avenues are opening up, and it's a great time to be a part of this industry.
Do we see you in Bollywood this year?
Well, I hope to. I'm in talks for something, and hopefully, if I like the character, then I will be doing a Bollywood film as well. मैं बॉम्बे से हूँ तो मैं हिंदी में बात करती हूँ, so I can definitely have no problem talking.
Yeah, you're anyways multilingual, so it's amazing. Okay, you worked with Bala sir, Prabhudeva sir. Any other director that you want to work and you want to, in near future?
List is endless. Mani Ratnam sir and Shankar sir, Sanjay Leela Bhansali sir, Abhishek Chaubey, Anand Rai, so many amazing directors. Of course, the list is endless, but I would like to say that whatever is offered to me, I will try to do. Choose the best out of that.
You have that demure beauty for Sanjay Leela Bhansali movie. So you have that. So if Sanjay sir is listening to this, I think he should cast you in his movies.
Maybe you should invite him on one of your interviews and then talk about it.
I know. Fingers crossed. Absolutely. Looking back, do you think that you could have done things differently, or do you think that it has been customized for you, the journey?
I think both, but yes, there are sometimes, when you look back in hindsight, you think you could have done things a little different. You could have taken more risks or not left that one film that you left. So that's okay, but you took many more other decisions that you were scared to take, many other challenges that you overcome. So you can appreciate that. You can appreciate how you persisted, how you took other decisions that you were scared to take, how you pushed yourself, how you worked very religiously on the work that you chose. The regrets can be sometimes endless, but you have to change your perspective towards things. And I'm just grateful that I got to do what I love.
So define in one word, your journey so far?
Full of persistence and never giving up.
I would just like to tell you that you're amazing in terms of what roles you're choosing and the journey that you are in, and you have this never giving up attitude. It's a marathon. I'm going to run it. Okay, so
Yes.
it's a sprint, so I'll not give up. I have seen your journey, and I have seen that how you started and what you have done. Okay, and what you're doing right now. It's like all your hard work is giving you results, and I'm sure there are many more beautiful, beautiful years and movies that you will be doing. So before I end this, I'd just like to ask you one thing. Are there any upcoming projects that are coming up that you're working on after Ghana?
There is a film called Mahal in Tamil that
Mhm.
I'm shooting for. Then there is another film called Gajana. And of course, Ghana is releasing. And there is another film which is yet to come out. It's called Jungle in Tamil. It's a mix of fantasy, horror, family entertainer, and an adventure film. So 2025 is looking, exciting. And I'm sure I'm going to do a few more interesting characters, and I'm in the process of signing a few more. So hopefully, we all have to one day at a time keep going after our dreams.
All the very best for 2025 and all those years.
I love chatting with you because, it's so refreshing. It just felt like a conversation, literally. It didn't feel like an interview. Thank you so much. I feel so flattered that you actually took so much time out of your schedule to read about what I have done and to discuss it in such in-depth manner. It just made me feel very special. So thank you for spending the time to, go through and appreciate what I have done. And I hope to keep doing better work in the future. And I'm sure you also can, the way you were talking, I could understand that you also probably resonate and believe never to give up. I could sense that even though we are not together. I'm looking forward to doing another podcast with you very soon.
Thank you so much for understanding my show, in such a beautiful way. Okay, so thank you so much for joining in.